Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Operation Freedom Briefings. The goal of these briefings and my weekly radio show, Operation Freedom, is to provide you information the bought-off lamestream fake media is not going to touch. Please join us every Sunday. It's free. Come to davejanda.com. We're there 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern. Just hit the upper right-hand corner Listen Live button. Listen away. Great analysis, great guests. We have some phenomenal guests this week, and we're really going to go into very deep depth on the election, the results, and what's coming forward. I want to do a brief synopsis of the election and where I think we're going. Number one, the blue tsunami turned into a blue wave, turned into a blue rushing river, turned into a blue babbling brook, ended up being a blue smurf with prostate problems trying to relieve himself. Right. The flow of that huge gush of blue wave across our country did not materialize. It was kind of interesting watching the folks on CNN and MSNBC have mini meltdowns as the night went on. Now look, let's by historical perspective look at these elections, these midterm elections. On average, the party in power, that being the Republicans in this case, should have lost at least 30 seats based on historical norms in the House and lost 5 seats in the Senate. Historically, Obama in his first term lost 63 seats in the House and lost 6 seats in the Senate. Clinton in his first term lost 54 seats in the House and 8 in the Senate. There are many folks that are Republicans, that are Trump supporters, that are independents that say, well, they did okay, but not that great. Well, in actuality, if you look at the reaction of what was occurring on CNN and MSNBC, and if you look at the reaction, the hysterical reaction at the press conference the other day that President Trump held with the bought-off lamestream fake media that's a tentacle of the globalist syndicate, they weren't very happy. And the reason is because when it all came down to it, the current administration, if you will, lost. Right now it's about 28, 29 seats. That could escalate into the low 30s, depending on how these races play out, the final results. And, now here's the key, they gained the states in the Senate of North Dakota, Indiana, Missouri, and Florida. Lost Nevada, so a gain of 3. Now, in only 5 times in the last 105 years of this country's history has there been a gain in the Senate like that. This is big. This is big. And if you look at the Florida races, the 3 big races that the blue tsunami, blue smurf with prostate problems, trying to relieve himself, they targeted were Florida, Georgia, and Ohio. The Republicans held Florida. They held Georgia, in spite of the Oprah effect and the Obama effect. And the Republicans held Ohio. Now, I don't even see that as holding Ohio. Kasich, a never-Trumper, a globalist, was the current governor of Ohio, not running for re-election. And Obama and all the big progressives and globalists got behind their candidate, I believe his name was Conroy, in Ohio. The Republicans won. DeWine won. That I see as a gain. Now, many people say, well, but the Republicans lost Michigan. Look, anyone who considers Rick Jennifer Schneider a Republican, a conservative Republican, a free market Republican, a non-globalist, doesn't know what they're talking about. He's all of the above. He's a progressive. He's a globalist. Hey, he's doing all these business deals in China all the time. Oh, no. This guy's a globalist. So, in fact, you have a globalist, Whitmer, coming in for a globalist Schneider who took over from a globalist Granholm. State never changed. Don't let them kid you with these RD titles. It's like with Ryan. Now let's look at the national stage. Who are the big winners? I see it as a couple people. Trump, as I said, the statistics are there. He gained seats in the Senate. This is going to be his power base. The Dems, the globalists, took control of the House, but not by much. And in fact, the other winner in this is Pelosi, because Pelosi put it on the line. Well, you got to give her credit. Might not like her. She's a globalist, but she won out of this. Who are the big losers? Paul Ryan, who set the House up for defeat, just like a good globalist, because that was his last task the globalist gave to him. Take down the House, big time. Create a blue tsunami in the House so that there's a huge majority in the House. That didn't happen. Ryan, huge loser on many fronts. The head of the RNC, Ronna Romney McDaniel. Look, there were 44 Republicans that walked away from their seats and said they weren't running. Well, maybe there's some stuff coming up in their past and in future events that maybe will explain all that. But Ronna Romney McDaniel, notice the middle name Romney, globalist, did a very poor job at getting these seats set and funded. She's a big loser. The Never Trumpers are a big loser because they were helping create this blue tsunami that turned into this blue Smurf with prostate troubles having trouble relieving himself. The blue wave, the blue tsunami, was a huge loser. Hollywood was a big loser. All these stops by all these celebrities. Oprah putting her arm around this governor and candidate in Georgia, Adams. Huge losers. Everyone they backed lost. Good old Beto in Texas, bam, down. In spite of some huge issues of voter irregularity. Huge issues. Just look at Jimmy O'Keefe's work in Project Veritas with poll workers saying to the illegals, come on in, vote. Yeah, we're doing a lot of these folks. Come on. In spite of that, good old Beto lost, or Robert Francis, or whatever his real name is. Obama lost. The four people he really campaigned hard for, Gillum, Adams, Beto, and this Conroy guy running for governor in Ohio, all lost. Those are the big losers. But let me tell you the biggest loser in my mind. The bought-off lamestream fake media, including Fox News. Look, I have gotten a tremendous amount of heat over the years from the public, where I have identified Fox as being controlled opposition, that they are, in fact, part of the globalist syndicate. Just look at the Murdochs. They sit on the Council on Foreign Relations, for goodness sakes. Globalists. Look, you're going in a Baskin Robbins ice cream store, and then there's the flavor of MSNBC and CNN and Fox. They're all ice cream. They're all globalists. And Fox is just a little different flavor. They're controlled opposition, and that came to light on election night. Any of us that have been saying this have been vindicated. Look, at around 9:20, Associated Press, Washington Post, CNN even came out and said, hey, we really thought that the Dems had huge victory in the House. Well, we're backing off of that. This is going to be close, and they might not even keep the House. Yet at 9:30, Fox, big letters, we declare the Dems winning the House of Representatives. At the time, the Dems were up 2 seats. Remember, right now they're up about 27-28. And they needed 23. What? So at 9:30 Eastern, that's 6:30 on the West Coast. Polls don't close until 8 or 9 o'clock. This is voter suppression. This is trying to get people to say, oh, well, it's already over, I'm not going to vote. Or it's, well, I'm not going to vote for a loser, I'm going to vote for a winner. Fox was involved, I believe, in voter suppression. And it didn't surprise me because, as I said, they've always been controlled opposition. And what better organization to declare the winner, not CNN, where everybody of like mind is watching that. It's Fox, where there are more conservatives, more independents watching to try to suppress their vote. The guy behind it, I believe, is a guy by the name of Bill Salmon. And I'm going to go into further depth for our subscribers at davejanda.com for our subscription service about Salmon and I believe his role. I believe it's a concerted effort by Fox to suppress the vote. They are controlled opposition. We're going to go into greater depth on the election, on the winners, the losers, on my radio show on Sunday, 2 to 5 Eastern. You can join us live. It's free. Also, on the subscription service in our WTF show, in our Insider Insight shows, we are going to dissect this like no other. Now, I want to end with Sessions. Look, I believe Sessions, for many months since the inception, has been supporting Trump. I believe he's been working. He's the guy who appointed Huber, this prosecutor out of Utah. I believe they've been working hand in hand. I believe they've been going to grand juries around the country. I believe Sessions has been responsible for many of these indictments that are now sealed that will soon be opened. I want you to think of it as a baseball game and starting pitchers. Sessions was the starting pitcher. The plan was toward the end, to either bring in a middle inning reliever or a closer. I believe Sessions went through the middle inning reliever role, and now they had to bring in the closer. Now, the closer. Matt Whitaker. He's the interim or the acting Attorney General. What I believe ended up leading to Sessions leaving was the following. I have been told that Sessions was going to be there until his, quote, until his job is done. When his job is done, he will leave. Now, what I had been told by a number of sources was, look, they had to get Kavanaugh through. After the Kavanaugh issue, the declassification was supposed to hit. I believe September 17th, Trump came in and said, these documents need to be declassified. The FISA warrants, the original FISA warrants, the text between McCabe and Comey, and the 302 forms, the FBI forms, that were filled out when Bruce Orr, number 4 at the Justice Department of Obama, was interviewed. Declassify them. He said that, unredacted, I believe September 17th. I believe Sessions slow-walked those documents to the point where Trump and the team, I believe, were counting on those documents being released and declassified ahead of the election. Not the day before, but a couple weeks before. And I believe Sessions slow-walked them. And I believe that's what ultimately led for Trump to ask for his resignation, because I believe that was Sessions saying, look, I've done my job. I got the game set up, okay? It's all set. The indictments are there. Everything's good with Huber. It's ready to go. But you know what? I'm running out of gas. I'm running out of steam. My arm's tired. Bring in the closer. I think Matt Whitaker is a closer, and I think he's legit. I think he's going to declassify these documents. He's going to get them out there. And I think when the declassification hits, I think that is what trips the unsealing of many of these indictments. Not all of them, but many of these indictments. I believe it will bring into the limelight the institution of military tribunals. I believe this is why the deep state is so panicked. And I believe this is the reaction we saw just the other day in the East Room of the White House, where Jim Acosta went off the nut to the point where he hit a White House intern who was trying to get the microphone away from when he was being rude and belligerent. Can you imagine if this happened when Obama was president? Oh my gosh, that person would have been fired by the time the press conference ended. And it wasn't just Acosta. The bought-off lamestream fake media, tentacle of the globalists, is panicked because they know what's coming. I hope you'll join us on Operation Freedom, 2 to 5 Eastern. It's live. It's listen free. If you want the podcast, that's part of the subscription content, as is our WTF show, which is a geopolitical analysis show, as is our Insider Insight show, where we deep dive on issues. And I said we are going to deep dive on these some of these issues I've already spoken about, and go much deeper to provide you information that the bought-off lamestream fake media does not want to touch. Our subscription service is 30 cents a day, or $9 a month. Sign up. You don't have to sign up for a year. Sign up for a month. If you don't like it, get rid of it. I'm not sure why you would, because the information, the analysis, and the guests you get, you're not going to get from any other source. As we close every segment, thank you for joining me, and dream big and dare to fail.